That's much better. Hi, um, my name is Funeka Noya. I am based in Johannesburg. I love it here. We're having our winter now. I'm just going through my finances, and I just thought it would be helpful that I post this video on how I got rid of my debt. And I'm super happy today because I'm looking at it and it looks like I've got 90% of the debt paid off. It's just one small thing that I have not paid, and I'm just still dealing with that. So in this video, I just want us to talk about debt and just maybe some of the things that I've done to get rid of my debt you can use as well. Something that might have worked for me maybe won't work for you, but I'm hoping that you can learn, just take a chapter out of what I've learned. Just to give you a bit of a background into who I am and what I'm about. I'm a girl's girl. I like to shop. I like to have lunch with my girls. So spending money is something that just happens regularly with me until I had to take this step. So the first step that I took in getting rid of my debt was to get real about the situation that I was in. I was in debt. I had, when I started working, I had all these people calling me, all these banks calling me, and they would offer me debt. And it never occurred to me that I could take so much debt that when I pay back the debt, it would actually be, I could actually fall back on my debt. And what I want to say is the first person who knows that you are in debt is usually you, the consumer. But at that time, it's like trapped in this spiraling um, thing that you just cannot even get out of because it's so addictive, and it's so nice to shop and just to spend money and not have to think about consequences and how you're gonna repay all this debt. So the first thing that I did was to sit down with my finances and to actually um, admit to myself that I'm in debt. I'm in debt. I cannot afford to shop anymore. I cannot afford to acquire any more new debt. No bank wants to touch me. And for me, there was a big problem because I hadn't even bought a car. I hadn't even bought a house. So those are like some of the most important things that one would need. So the first thing that I did was just to get real about my financial situation. I sat down with my bank statement and I looked at my spending. What am I spending on? Restaurants. I'm always at the mall. Um, I buy a lot of clothes. I spend on people, a lot of money on people, family. Sometimes you need to put your foot down, and you can't put your foot down because you're so used to saying yes and to this culture of spending. So the first thing that you do is, because you're so addicted to the spending, you actually an addict, you're like a junkie. The first thing that you do is just to admit that you're in trouble and you need to get out of trouble. Okay, the second thing that I did was to write down each and every debt that I had. I wrote down every loan that I took. I wrote down the interest on the loan. I wrote down my income versus my expenses, and that was such a shocker because I actually saw that my 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 expenses actually exceeded my income. So I don't know how I was gonna get out of this, and at the same time, um, I realized that I had actually noticed quite um, a long time before that I sat down with my debt that I was actually in debt, and the way that I solved it was to acquire more debt, which was a totally wrong thing to do because that was that's when the light bulb flashed to say, listen, girl, there's something that you need to do about this debt. So I sat down, I read down all the debt, and then I wrote down who I owe, how much I owe, um, and then I tried to figure out how am I gonna pay this. Okay, and then the next thing that I did was to draw up my budget. Draw up your budget. See in your budget where you can, which are your needs and which ones are your luxuries. And then I took down everything that I did not actually need to be spending on: my going out, my luxuries. I destroyed my credit card. That was difficult to do. I destroyed my credit card. um, I At the same time, I had to call some friends up to say, listen, at the right now I'm actually dealing with this. It was difficult to do, but I had to do it. I'm actually dealing with something right now. I'm actually dealing with my personal problems that have money involved. So I kind of need to take a step back from our friendship. I don't know how you would work around that, but it's something that I had to do. Okay, and then you in South Africa, you've got, I don't know how it works with other countries, but once a year you've got access to your credit report. So I contacted TransUnion, and there's another one here that's quite good as well, quite easy to understand, the credit report. XDS, I think. Yeah, XDS. And I asked for my credit report, and it's a free credit report. You've got access to it. Go online, put your information there. In no time, they will send you a credit report, and you will see the true reflection of how much you're owing, who you're owing, who's blacklisted you, who's listed you on ITC. And it will actually show you the amount of months that you've defaulted. And then the next thing that you do is you call whoever you owe. In my case, I was owing about 5 loans on banks and a credit card. I had to call the banks because I had defaulted on my loans. On some loans, I had not been paying for months. So I had to call the bank up and say, listen, I know you gave me a loan. I know I haven't been paying. How can we work around this? And you will be surprised at the way that the banks eager to to help. Sometimes they would have handed you over to other debt collection companies, but if you call them to make a payment plan, you might get a settlement discount on a loan, because as much as you running from them, they actually want to get the money back, even if they just recover the original amount that they owe you. To Just to show you an example, this is I just don't want to show the name. This is one of the loans that I had taken. I don't know if you can see that, but it's for an amount of 20,000, and I had actually defaulted on the loan, and I hadn't been paying for quite some time, and it accumulated interest, and I was now owing 27,255, and I managed to get a 60% discount on that loan, on the original amount, which now I had to pay about 10,900 rand. And just to show you that they even accommodated me, they said, okay, fine, we'll split the amount in two and you'll pay in 2 months. I had about 4 loans that they gave me discount, 30% discount, 20% discount. So now I've paid everything off. Um, if you look at this, uh, credit report right here, everywhere where I've written the X over here, where I've scratched it off, it's everything that I've paid off. I'm just having problems with one bank where they just, I feel like the loan that they gave me, it was not, the balance that they gave me now is not a true reflection of what I'm owing. Okay, and then um, what I did was to commit to paying minimum payments on most of my loans. So if I've got 5 loans and I commit to paying like at the ultimate minimum on 4 of those loans, and then I pay off one loan that month, then I paid off the loan. Now I've got 4 to deal with, and then I do the same I gave them the bare minimum, just the three, and then just the one I paid off the following month. Before you know it, you've paid off everything. It's a strategy that I used. It worked for me, and it's really helpful to get your credit reports and just to read more on what your credit score is, because I knew that there was such a thing as your credit score, but it something that didn't bother me. My financial education really didn't bother me. The only thing I was bothered with was, oh, where am I gonna shop? Oh, what am I gonna do this weekend? Oh, who's calling me up to go here and there and all of that. And once you educate yourself to say, okay, in South Africa, a credit score of 750 is a good credit score. What does it mean? How is it calculated and all of that? It really, really does help. And once you know this information, it's really exciting. So the other thing that I'm going to urge you to do is to read, read, read. Read financial books, read all you can. So that when you educate yourself, now when you know better, you do better. That's just what I believe in. And then the last but not least, set a goal for yourself. Set a date um, that you are planning to pay all of this debt off. For me, it happened. I set a date to say I was gonna pay everything off by the end of the year, but to my surprise, I managed to live beyond I managed to live below my means. So I managed to pay everything off. I just managed to discipline myself, which is something that is very hard, but you have to do it. It's just something that you just have to do. Um, set a date. Set a date as the date that you're going to write it down, and you're going to say, by this day I would have paid everything off, or I want to have paid everything off. If you haven't paid everything off by that date, go back to where you've written it off, where your goals are, where your long-term and short-term goals are, and be accountable to yourself and say, ask yourself a question: why have I not paid this off? Be accountable. um and yeah, that's how I got out of debt, and I'm almost there, and I really hope you watching will learn something from it. It's helped me, and I hope that it actually helps you as well. I'm still on a quest to learn. I'm still learning. So let's work together. Let's educate each other. And yeah, let's grow. Thank you for watching.